It's always a great pleasure to welcome Justin Hume to What's Next. Justin is South Africa's Vice President of Mobile Experience. And whenever Justin is on the show, he always comes talking cool things to us. And Samsung is without doubt one of my favorite brands. I own several of the devices. I think the camera quality is exceptional. I love the AI and every S device that comes out, and I'm talking about the Galaxy devices, whether it's a Fold, whether it's a Flip, or whether it's the flagship device, which we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be super exciting. So, Justin, firstly, how are you doing? Welcome. It's great to see you again.
Aki, doing very well, thanks. I mean, it's been a busy couple of days. We've been getting this brand new Galaxy S26 out into the market, and yeah, I love this time of year. It's really, really good for us there. So good to be with you again.
Yeah. Well, listen, no, it's great to be at. Justin, when the first terminology came out, and Samsung's been talking AI for a long time, you've introduced AI in your devices many years ago. And initially, I must be honest, I did think it was a very gimmicky thing, but AI is a real thing today. And once you start using it, even when I thought it was gimmick, I thought, wow, there are lots of use cases. And every year, you say to yourself, when Samsung announces something new, you say, how much more can you add on what you did the previous year? And yet you come up with new innovations and you come up with new things that make my life easier. So everyone at the moment is talking about AI right now. And what truly sets Samsung's AI approach from their competitors is that you really bring unique offerings to a device, to a technology that we use every single day of our lives. So what is Samsung's approach, and what brings Samsung AI truly apart from everybody else out there?
Yeah, I think you're entirely right. A lot is said about AI, and there is a lot to say about AI. I think the big difference, the fundamental kind of shift that we're looking at here is that I think again in a mobile handset perspective, is that most would have to take the AI as an application. What you do with AI would be cloud-based, so you're putting it out into the web and delivering it there. Samsung has really taken an approach to being AI sitting at the operating layer. We spoke about things like AI becoming the infrastructure. So in a very simple way, if I grab the phone here, the way I think about it is that as opposed to AI sitting somewhere up here in the cloud, on my phone, just below my screen, somewhere between my PC board and my screen, is this AI layer. I mean, it doesn't work like that, but I'm trying to give a visual picture here. And to say, it's been interfacing with what's on my device's screen, how I'm interacting with this device, and then doing the computational requirements within this device. And then only when really necessary does it pop it up into a cloud environment. I think one of the big things that we talked about at Unpack this year when we introduced the S26 is that AI is not just another application. So we mustn't think about it just as the Gemini or ChatGPT or Copilot, whatever it might be. Those are certainly valuable, but AI is now become a workforce, an invisible layer within the device that is linking everything from your camera to your calls to your ecosystem that is packaged around you. And so, it's often as consumers, we try and think about, like, I want to see what it is that you're doing. And there certainly are those visual elements to it, but so much of it is now being computed within the device and at the background. And that's where Samsung has a real edge, I believe. So we work with key partners like Google, but we also work with hardware partners like Qualcomm to produce the chipsets that are bespoke, that are unique to your Galaxy S26 device, that gives you that computational power to make AI a reality and at real time.
Yeah, I think you've put it very, very well there, because every single bit of technology, from the camera to the processor, everything is engineered to work together to provide that best AI experience. But over and above that, what's sitting under that glass, the computational power that you've got to really make those calculations and really provide that AI experience Never mind the experience, but the actual AI use case scenarios, that's where the power of computing is happening under there. And that process is extraordinary. I'm looking forward to hearing about it later. But we've also heard of the term agentic AI, and that's where it really gets magical with AI, when you get those agents in AI starting to do things for you and really taking a lot of the time out of your schedule. In the background it operates, but literally making your life a lot easier. And agentic AI is becoming a major industry conversation. You guys have been talking about it for a while. It's evolving, and Samsung is really integrating this into its ecosystem in a very fast way.
Definitely. And I think having chatted to a lot of people in that, what is AI? What is agentic AI? And I'm going to try and maybe take a minute to explain the difference where we have been. And certainly, before I do that, I want to say that the S26, this device that I've got here now, is the foundation of moving from a smartphone era to an agentic AI era. These are now intelligent devices. They're not just smartphones, they're intelligent phones, if I can put it that way. What is, when we think about AI right now in the traditional handsets and the like, we've got generative AI, so I can use that to go improve my picture quality. I can use it to do some linear processes. So the way that works is that I have an objective. I say to my device, please find me restaurants that serve a certain type of food that are available at a certain place and give me the directions. But I've given pretty specific prompts as to what I'm looking for from current AI. When we step into agentic AI, this is where real magic takes place. So no longer is it defined by simply the rules that I give it. It has some autonomous rule making or search and operation flexibility that it has there. So it starts to move from understanding what your input is to a specific output, to understand what is the goal, the outcome that you're trying to achieve. So it can now do multiple things of its own and bring that together. Now, to explain how something like that would work is I want to, you and I have a discussion. We are going to have a round of golf. And we've been chatting across, and we're talking about it on Gmail, for example, or in our text messaging and the like. But I forget to do this. Now, these days, my life is ruled by my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, I'm going to forget all about it. So we've been chatting about this, and I say, cool, we're on for a game. We're going to play, the Bryanston Country Club on Saturday at 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. teal. And then I forget to put in my calendar and the like, but somebody else comes along and says, hey, listen, are you available? We need to do something on Saturday morning. Within that text, in that flow of what I'm doing, my agentic AI will pop up and say, hang on a second, you and Aki made plans. We've got this going there. How about we move something out and the like there? So it's in this idea of being in the flow. It's operating across the various applications and being able to identify the different commitments that I made, the different goals that I've had, and bring that to me. So it's like my personal assistant. The example I've given you there is probably one of the most simple examples of what you can do with this. This could extend to booking my Uber, to doing a host of things. And as it moves forward, as we integrate with partners in South Africa and the like, we're able to take in everybody's lunch requests and with all the variations of their meals that they're looking for, and that when we have a Strat meeting here, and AI will sort through that and it will place the order with your favorite order service, and that will then get delivered to you. It comes back to you once it's worked out all the processing, whatever it says, are you happy? You go, yes. Or you can just tell it to run, do its own thing. And it will work on that for you as well.
Wow, it's amazing. Firstly, you don't want to play golf with me because I'm dangerous on the golf course and my golf game is shocking. So rather choose something safe like paddle next time, if you don't mind.
Wicked.
But Justin, it's extraordinary when you think about it. The advances on the last few Galaxy devices to where we are today, it's just getting better and better. And the intelligence is getting smarter and smarter, and now it's becoming intuitive, as you've very well put there, that it really understands what you're trying to do and what your life is about, and it helps you organize your life a lot better. One of the other things I saw in the announcement was that the Galaxy S26 Ultra introduces an industry first, a built-in privacy display. Tell us how this works.
So this is amazing. This is where hardware and software come together. So on the screen here, on this Galaxy S26 Ultra, we have been able to control each and every pixel that is on this phone to on the way it emits light and the like. So what happens here is that there's content on my screen, and often, I fly a lot, you fly a lot, and that I'm sure you've had it where I'm sitting there, I'm working on my phone, and I've always got that person in the seat next to me who's looking, trying to see what's happening on my phone screen. Now, that's a bit awkward, right? And like, okay. Well, the other one is because I'm, in the business and I'm using my phone all the time, and I'm showing something on my phone, and the next second a bank notification comes through, and there's my salary to say, hey, listen, this, you've just been paid, as an example. Awkward moment, right? What do you do? So the solution historically has been to go and buy one of those covers, you apply it over the face of the phone, and then what happens is everything is kind of blocked, but it's very dull. It's very, the color and muted and the light. It's not great, right? Yeah, what we can do is we can set the privacy pixel by pixel so that I can determine without a cover, but literally straight from the screen, to what extent do I want that privacy to take place. I can choose on which applications I want it to take place. So I can say, I want WhatsApps to be private, but I don't want my gallery being exposed so that people, because I want to show my pictures to others. I could determine the angle and depth so that to ensure that if so I'm looking straight on like this, somebody looking in at the side, they'll see just a pure black screen. And I can also even do this for sections of the screen. So I can say, okay, mute all or give privacy to all notifications that come through. So I've really got control over what gets displayed, particularly when it's sensitive information that is coming through. Now, this is a world first. As I said, it's both software and hardware integration that allows us to take place. But I must be honest, so many people since we announced it have come through and gone, that is genius. This is actually real value. It makes a lot of sense because we do it so much from our phone. And whether it's the elevator, whether it's in the shopping mall. I mean, these days, again, we're all using Samsung Pay and the like to tap, the POS terminals at a shopping center. But at the same time, information is being displayed maybe to the cashiers and the like. Let's protect that.
No, I love it. And you know what? You've got such a magnificent screen. Why would you want to stick something on that's going to make it dull, as you say? And this innovation is amazing. And what I love about what you've just said is it's completely customizable, right? So you can decide, I want to use this with this application or that application, etc., etc. So absolutely genius and something really, really useful on the phone. So well done. Is that going to be, by the way, just on the Ultra, the S26 Ultra, or is that eventually going to come out on other device updates in future, or is it a hardware-specific thing for this current Ultra device?
Okay, so obviously, with all technologies, we have to launch it somewhere and bring it to market. And so that is with the S26 Ultra. I think that will give us a really good benchmark in terms of how our customers use it, which applications they use it on, which settings they use it in, and the like. And that information will inform how we proceed with future generations of devices, and how that rolls out potentially. But I think we've created the bedrock technology now.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, and it's incredibly useful. So well done on that one. The Samsung innovation on cameras is extraordinary. It's really one of the standouts in the smartphone industry. Is hands above your competitors. Samsung cameras are really exceptional, and your camera innovation and the amount of money that you guys spend on research and development. Just when you thought that My previous device's camera is phenomenal. Can they even improve on this? Yet you guys come up with improvements. And this Galaxy S26 series is no exception. What are those camera advancements that you've made in the Galaxy S26?
So let me start by saying I'll use the S26 Ultra as the reference point here. We've maintained the 200 megapixel camera, but that we made popular with previous generations. But we've now widened the aperture so that allows a lot more light in, you get brighter colors, and it also means that at night, with our nightography feature, we can record without that, the noise that comes in dark setting environments and the like. That's both a function of the aperture of the lens as well as AI in that moment, cleaning up the noise and giving you a really crisp, clear picture. So that's something that people are well familiar with that Samsung cameras operate incredibly well in dimly lit environments. So whether it be a concert or so forth. So we've built on that, we've improved it. When we think about the 100 times zoom that takes place, often people they were zooming into an object and you start getting blurring. Now AI starts repixelating each and every pixel and gives you high resolution even at extreme zoom depth and the like. But as we've expanded upon that, cameras, it's not about just how good a camera is, it's about what is that we create with the device. And that's where our creative suite really comes into play. So with AI in the past, and I'll keep saying AI because it's integrated through this here. But we've also, shown you before where you take a picture, there's somebody who's stepped into the background or people have stepped into the background, and we can just long press on the screen and AI removes them from the image. That's great. We've kept that. It's really good. And I believe we still do it the best of anybody else in the market in terms of that capability. But you've also probably seen when you go to a restaurant these days, everybody's taking a picture of their food first so they can post about what they're having for dinner, when it's fancy and the like. So now imagine you've got this piece of cake. It's in pristine condition. You're about to go for it. If this was me and my wife comes along and takes a bite out of it just before I take the photograph, shot, ruined. Well, no longer. Galaxy can now restore that image, put that piece back in virtually and recreate it. And the great thing about it is that it color coordinates it. It makes sure that there are shadows that brings back the shadows and puts the lighting back in and the like. So it feels truly natural, whether we're taking images out or putting them back into the shot. And that just makes some great content, I think, as we go forward.
That is absolutely brilliant. And that's just one of, I mean, you highlighted the cake, but there's so many other applications that you can use that in, and help you make and take better photographs, whether it be in daylight or in the dark, as you said. And that's one of the frustrations of the past. And of course, you're going to lose some sort of quality when you zoom in. But now you've got that power under the device that really helps you make that photograph look amazing. The one thing that scares me the most in this AI era that we're in, and there's a lot of data that's being shared and it's on the phone, devices are interacting with us all the time. How is Samsung strengthening the on-device security in this era of AI?
So I'm going to talk about it from three layers effectively. Layer one, we have what we call our personal data engine, the PDE. Now, what that means is this phone, the AI in the phone, that is learning all the time about me. One of the key benefits of AI is personalization. Um, Information can be customized to a sample of one being myself in that regard. So what the PDE does is it collects the information about me, my name, phone number, address, whatever it might be that you've been putting into your phone, and the like. And let's assume it's also, I've been talking about a dog that I have. Let's call the dog Leo. This information resides within the PDE. Now, when applications come along and they need to access that information, so whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram or whatever that might be, PDE releases that information to the application or up into the cloud if we're doing something, web browsing, booking airline tickets, whatever it might be, provides only the information required for that application at that point in time. And then it shows once that's been done, that information is removed and stored back in the PDE effectively there. So we're not leaving it in the third-party applications. That information cannot then be utilized for advertising and databases and whatever else there might be. It belongs to you. It resides. PDE is then housed within what we call Keep, and Keep really is a way of thinking about how we apply cryptography and encryption of our data within a software layer. And then all of this is housed within Knox, which is something we've been talking about for years. And to date, Knox is still the gold standard of mobile phone security. The Knox Vault sits actually within the hardware layer of the phone. So we've gone all the way from software layers into hardware and locking that in so that nobody can really kind of get to your data. On top of that, with the AI now residing not as a cloud-based solution, but AI sitting on device here, when it detects that an application is trying to fish or ping for information about you that you have not given it permission to do, you are going to get notified of that immediately so that you can actually go, hang on a second, stop, take a pause here, or, okay, actually, I do want it to do that. So it's important. We're giving you the insight, the visibility, and then the ability to make decisions about your security in real time.
Okay, all right. So it's all baked into the device itself. So your consumers can be reassured that that important data, the really sensitive data that you have on your phone, actually stays on your phone. But Knox, as you say, adds that protective layer, which is really critical on Samsung devices. And I remember when Knox was launched many years ago, and it's incredible the advancements that have been made into Knox. So when they say Fort Knox, that's a Fort Knox on a Samsung device. Now, the big question is, when can South African customers expect these devices to arrive? And I know there's pre-orders that are going to be opening. I saw them behind you there that you're talking about pre-orders for the new S26 range. What are those dates? And are there things like trade-ins that are going to be open as well this year? What are you doing for your South African customers?
Yeah. So pre-orders are running. They're live now. And got a great offer. I'll talk about that in a second there. Pre-order runs up and we will then start fulfilling pre-orders from the 4th of March. So it's really that's next week effectively. But the official on-shelf date is the 11th of March and it's pretty close around there. Now, as always, we value the early adopters who come purchase Samsung's latest and greatest innovation there. So we've got a good offer for those customers. As you could see on the screen behind me there, we are doubling your memory. So if you go and buy the device with a 256 gigabyte memory storage capability, we'll upgrade that to a 512 gigabyte memory. And that is around about a 5,000 Rand enhancement of value to you. That's apart from other options that we've included, like Samsung SOS Plus in our emergency service, 12 months of that free. Some great pricing on Samsung Care Plus to make sure the device is kept in the best condition. And then the mobile operators and retailers have also added in some other value depending on where you go. But I think all around, it's a great value to the customer there. As I said, that will be available from the 11th of March officially in stores. Now, there are also certain stores that are doing trade-ins, and I would invite new customers looking at that to check with their network operator or favorite retailer to see what those specials are that are coming through.
No, it's fantastic and great that you're doubling up the memory. We know the challenges in the market at the moment of memory and that sort of thing. So that's a really good deal that I would urge people to take advantage of. If Samsung wants to double your memory, it's a very good one. Now, we can't not talk about Galaxy Buds in the conversation because I did see that there was a Galaxy Buds 4 announcement as well. And how does this all fit into the easy AI lifestyle? You got one in your hand because they are quite amazing. And if you think that there's AI only on your phone, you're very mistaken. As in, the technology that's used in that earpiece is extraordinary. Tell us about those Galaxy Buds 4.
First, let me try and show you the design here. This wonderful little case that they come in. We've gone with what we call now the new blade design. I'm going to try and hold it up where you can see that. So it looks really good. You know, one of the key things, I'm going to talk about two parts of it here is firstly, when it comes to wearable, particularly for the ears, comfort and fit is certainly the most important. We have done millions, over 10 million tests on various computational points as to how ears differ across cultures, how different people utilize, what angle they put the buds in, these type of things. And we believe we've come up with a solution that really maximizes for everybody. On top of that, you're able to individualize it then with the equilibrium and the like straight from your phone to make sure that if this ear you need a bit of a boost in, but this ear a little bit softer, we can get those levels right automatically from the buds. The sound quality is really what people rave about in that regard. We've increased the size of the woofer in here. Now that's what's responsible for giving you the bass. And normally that's a function of how big it is, how big the vibration area is within in the space. Now, this is something that fits in my ear. Yet we've been able to work through our various sound engineers, the fact that we, AKG Harman, as well as the learnings that we had from our audio teams, and bring it into this little device. So we were able to boost the bass, increase the treble, and one of the biggest benefits of all of that is the active noise cancelling that takes place. When I put these in now and I set it to ANC, active noise cancelling in that regard, I literally get the world blocked out. I can operate in a busy environment and it's clear. But now using the algorithms, using AI and the like, the buds are intelligent, able to detect if there's sirens in the background, and then it will bring up the volume, even though I might not be hearing it, so that I can be aware of some danger that might be around me. Or also, if I'm on walking through the street, walking through a shopping mall, talking, and the exterior noise is quite loud, it will be able to redirect the direction and the wideness of the cone of the microphone, what noise is coming in, and tone it down, pick up my voice directionally orientated to that so that you hear me crystal clear audio while the background has been taken away. So not just for me, the listener, but for you, the receiver of that call. And then finally, we able to engage with our AI agents, whether it be Gemini, Perplexity, Bixby, that's on the handset straight from the buds. So I can really be talking with my agentic AI while I'm walking along and getting stuff done, getting it done literally through the power of my voice with something like Galaxy Buds Pro.
Extraordinary. I know that stuff blows my mind, the amount of microphones, how it cuts out the noise around you. And yet, when you need to hear that ambulance or that emergency vehicle, it allows that sound in. It's mind-blowing where these devices have come today. Are those going to be available the same time as the S26 devices?
The R&D, yes, they will be available. And again, we worked with the mobile operators to create various bundle solutions for that. So you can get phone and buds together. I almost don't believe it's a choice. I think you need to walk out with this and this together. Not just because I'm trying to sell it yet, but because I can attest to just how valuable it is to have these integrated devices working simultaneously.
And not only that, is that, they've been designed to work together. There's a lot of AI that's happening in the background that really optimizes the sound. So, it's a no-brainer to take those devices with the device, with the S26 device. Justin Hume, thank you very much again for your time. Justin is the Vice President of Samsung South Africa of Mobile Experience. Justin, listen, it's you've set another benchmark for an incredible device and an incredible earbud. So congratulations to those Buds 4 and the phones that have come out and the AI stuff that you've put into these devices. You certainly knocked the ball out the park. Well done to you and your team.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to it. You have great feedback from the customers who use it. And I think we truly are entering into an age where the capability of a mobile phone is going to shift radically. So this is not just a new shiny thing that's come out. This is really a revolution and evolution in the tech industry. So thank you.